All right, good morning, everybody. It's about just before 8 o'clock on Sunday, the 3rd of December. Early morning start for once over here on the weekend. Continue to focus on this area of the rear wing here. So I'm going to get it hooked up where I've got this the new piece that I put in from the black car joined up, and then the inner wheel well or wheel arch, as I should properly call it, get that welded in, and then the fender flare, and then we'll move on hopefully to the lower wing. See if I can get through all that today. Maybe. I do have a basketball game to go to this afternoon, so I'm going to kind of break up the visit a little bit, but we'll see what we can do. Got some welding issues that I got to deal with there. I think I pointed that out last week, where the welder just wasn't working for me. I'm sure it was my fault. I did go out to the black car yesterday or Friday, and the rear end of that car is in halfway decent shape, so I was able to cut out the rear fender here. This is kind of how it looks. So you can see that whole entire wheel arch is in pretty good shape. There's a little bit of stuff there, but it's all real light surface rust, real good shape in there. So what I'm going to do is try to separate these two, saving everything if possible. So I tried to save obviously as much of that, or cut as much of that away as I could. So the intent was to try and overcut, which I obviously did pretty good on. And then it starts to lose it down there at the bottom, obviously, but that's where the wing patch comes in, right where the fender starts to flare. So hopefully I'll be able to steal some of this. I may, in hindsight, I started to make this piece here. I may just try to, like I said, get these separated and use that. A gazillion spot welds under here, so I'll see how much of a pain in the rear that is, but I don't think it's going to be too bad. And we'll go from there. So check back in with you later. All right, so I've got the little piece for the inner wheel arch ready to go here. Got it primed up and clamped in, so I'll weld that in. As obviously you can see down here, I still have that entire transition fade, or whatever you want to call that, to do. I'll get to that next after I get this guy welded in. All right, so I got this piece welded in here, the inner wheel arch welded in. Obviously, there's still several inches left to go. I'm going to kind of wing it here. I'm not so sure that this is going to be the best idea, that it's going to work out. But I have a relatively nice curved piece here that I was able to form, and so I'm just going to kind of tack that in like that. And then, obviously, there's a big gap there. I got to fill that eventually. But since I don't really know how this wing fits on here, the lower wing piece, and what it looks like in the wheel arch, I assume it looks like the front one, kinda, but I don't have a good reference for this really anywhere, because the black car and Dorothy here were in bad shape in that area. So anyway, I think what I'm going to do is just kind of tack this in and get it fitted, and then start to see if I can kind of make it fit as I go, and add pieces as I need to as I go, to try and see if I can get this gap filled in. So that's the plan. All right, it's about 11:30, and it seems like it's turning into one of those days where I may just leave here when I need to and not come back. So this lower wing repair is turning into a real bear. Because I don't know how this transition piece fits back here, and how this kind of is all supposed to kind of come together. I decided to put the lower wing on and try to get that fit so that I could tack that with the clamp. I should say clamp that, not tack that. And then you know, see how much room I needed under there and get everything done. The problem is that I don't know if it's the repair piece or what, but there's a huge gap. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can see that pretty good. Huge gap there, where those two pieces are just not coming together. You can kind of see it through there too. So that's, you know, that's quite a distance. And then of course, I didn't cut it real straight, so you can see that the seam, this is already stepped. It came with the notch step in it. So you can see down there, I cut it pretty well, and then as I moved back towards the car, I obviously didn't fit it too well. So I held on to that piece that I cut. I may very well just go ahead and weld it back in and try again, though, you know, external weld beads are not the best to try to cover up, but at least it's going to be relatively low. Not as concerned cosmetically anyway, but so yeah, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do here about filling that gap. So yeah, kind of stumped. I don't know if I should just tack the you know, figure out the transition down over there and get that done, and then tack the repair patch to the fender and just kind of beat it. I'm kind of leaning towards that a little bit, but I'm not real sure. So but I wanted to point this out. If you undertake this repair, at least for me right now, it is not going well as far as making stuff fit. So I'm sure I'll come through it. At least I'm relatively confident in that. But so right now it's a struggle, and I'm kind of getting frustrated. So as Ellen knows, sometimes it's just and I've done it before. You just stop for the day, you know, take a deep breath, collect your thoughts, go do something else, and then come back to fight another day. So I'm gonna keep going here for a little while, at least about at least an hour, I'd say, and we'll see how it goes. All right, about 12:30 or so, last update. Well, it didn't get any worse, I guess, but it really didn't get any better. So that wing is not really fitting. I tried to finish this up in here and had some interference fit, and then tried to fix, if you remember, I had a little flange there and tried to fix that, and ended up grinding away too much of it, and then trying to weld it back up, and it wouldn't weld. It just kept burning through, so I cut that back out. So I got to put that flange back on there, and then come up with a subtle way, if at all, to mold that back in. So really, after, you know, 4.5 hours of work, the only thing I really got done was I got this inner wheel arch welded in. So not real happy about the lower wing fit, but we'll come through that, and that's about it. So a little too frustrated to come back and revisit this afternoon after the basketball game. So I think I'm just gonna call it a day. I will be over sometime during the week. I'm not sure which day yet, but try to attack this again and see if brainstorm on it for a little bit and see if I can come up with something a little better. So have a good rest of your weekend. Thanks for watching. Real happy with the response that the videos have been getting. Pretty cool. Pretty easily getting a couple hundred views per video now. I think I'm about 170 subscribers or so. So please continue to pass the word. I appreciate all you guys taking the time to look through. Hopefully I can provide some help even on days like today when you know, you learn from my mistakes. So please subscribe, like the videos as well, and visit the website www.roundtailrestoration.com. And that's about it. Hopefully I get to see the Philadelphia Eagles beat the Seattle Seahawks tonight and go 11-1. Pretty exciting being an Eagles fan. I know I probably haven't said that a whole lot, but we'll see how that goes. So have a good rest of your weekend. Cheers.